It's time to get your morning started with the news you need to know.
News update.
This is what's trending with DJ and PK. Hashtag NBA.
We've just gotten a letter from Jeannie Buss's attorney saying that no sale of the remaining 17.8% Buss family shares can be effectuated without the consent of all three of the trustees. Okay, that's Janie Buss, Joey Buss, and Jeannie Buss. Now, my reporting is 5 of the siblings voted to sell this morning. Jeannie Buss did not vote to sell. And so she's contending through her lawyer that the 5 siblings who voted to sell do not have the right to do that pursuant to a ruling in 2017 when this was also in court among the trustees. There was a coup that the older brothers tried to dislodge Jeannie from control. And so it's in the hands of the lawyers right now.
No, it's not.
Who's going to run the Lakers? Jeannie Buss wants to, but if she doesn't know enough of the team, she can't, so.
It's in the arms of the angels.
Sing it, baby.
Not the hands of the attorneys. Families squabbling over money. Who knew?
It's an old story. It's an old story.
He says twice.
Pass it down to the kids and see if they'll fight over it.
See, that's why it's lucky to have nothing.
You don't have to worry about that.
My sisters and I had no arguments over anything because there was nothing. I got a duffel bag of stuff. I said, what do you want? I took a couple things. I probably put 20 things in a duffel bag and called it good.
Got some sentimental stuff?
I haven't even looked at it in years, so I don't even know what's in there anymore. I'll look at it one of these days in the winter when I have nothing to do. Real good friends of the family. Their siblings went to war over a house down at the Jersey Shore. It's just nasty. That's all this is. She got rid of them, and then now this is their payback, and away you go. It's sad, but it's true.
Predictable, not all that surprising.
Yeah.
Two of the Buss brothers have bought in. The Padres were just sold. We'll get to that, and they're in as minority investors in that. So they're staying in sports, but they're switching sports and switching towns.
And do all of them have the same mother too? That might have a factor into it.
No, they do not.
Yeah. See,
the last time it was in court,
my father was a playboy, but he was always very protective.
Oh. You need to stop with that.
What?
Your sisters will take you out.
Yeah, but I'll have to pay for it.
Lots of drama in Los Angeles. Well, that's going on with who owns the Lakers. We know who owns the Clippers. The question is, what did he know and when did he know it? The NBA says there's no evidence Ballmer funneled money to Leonard via sponsors. That's what ESPN is reporting. Also reporting the NBA thinks ESPN reporting is lousy. Pablo Torre didn't have all the facts.
I have no idea. I couldn't care less about this story.
About cap circumvention?
Nope.
Whether they're cheating to bring in players. There's all kinds of allegations out there.
What good did it do?
It didn't do much good at all.
So why would I care?
Yeah. Well, maybe it got him enough respect and enough money and a building full enough that he could go build an arena.
Ballmer?
Yeah. But Ballmer's got so much money. Could have built the arena anyway.
Sure. And why would the average fan care about this? I don't understand. I saw the headlines. I haven't opened up one story about it. I'm a sports fan. I'm not going to let those things get in the way of my fandom because it's the one thing in life where I can have fun with. I'm not going to worry about it. Whatever they decide, who cares?
Portland City Council approves Moda Center renovation money. Will Tom Dundon sign a new lease? And San Antonio rejects proposed funding for a new Spurs arena. That arena's 20 years old now. Arenas and ownership. The NBA in August. There you go. DJ and PK.
Hashtag NFL.
As far as the blue tent, like I really respect the rules and the thought behind NFL has of keeping players healthy and reviewing things, but at the same time, I'm still puzzled by it just feeling like every time that I get hit, I find my way in there.
That's Jackson Dart, former Corner Canyon quarterback, now with the Giants. And it seemed, listening to the ex-players, their advice to him is get up off the field faster and then the league won't look at you. But if you lay on the ground too long, you're going to think you're hurt and you're going to go to the blue tent. So get up faster.
What's the big deal?
He doesn't want to be labeled the guy who's constantly injured.
Yeah, but if you are able to play, they're going to play you.
Yes, but when you have to go to the blue tent, you miss stuff. So
Why? What do you mean? How much? There's some rule. If you go to the blue tent, you automatically miss a series, or what?
No, I think it's just the luck of the draw. I mean, if you go to the blue tent on third down and it's punt and the defense is out there, you don't necessarily miss anything. But if it's first down, you're going to miss at least 2 plays, maybe more, depending on how fast you get in and out of there, how long the drive goes. Well, it won't go on long enough.
Call second timeout. I mean, how long is it?
Burn all your timeouts. Depends on the doctors, how fast they move. I don't think it's the same for every injury.
Do you have to wait and check in, and you have to stand like 10 feet behind because of HIPAA laws? I mean, well, get him in. If you're not hurt, who cares?
He does. He doesn't like going to the blue tent, even when he's not hurt.
And I'm asking him, why do you care? If you're not hurt, then you go to, it's like taking my car through the drive-through washer. I just, and then I'm out. If you're not hurt, what difference does it make?
Puka Nacua is hurt. The Rams are not looking to rush him back. Myles Garrett also hurt. I think it's Garrett with the knee and Puka with the back. So no rush on those guys here as we move through preseason. Keenan Allen signs a 1-year deal with the Colts. He's been bouncing around a little bit after a long time with the Chargers. He went away, went back, left again. Now he's going to the Colts for a year. Jordan Tyson, Saints rookie out of Arizona State, could miss 2 months with a hamstring injury. There's a guy who's had more than his fair share of injuries, PK. Didn't he have 2 years impacted by injuries at ASU?
So there's a certain amount of injuries that you can have that are fair?
Yeah, and fair. 1.32.
Okay.
1.32 injuries is the average.
So then beyond that, you can complain?
Too much, too many.
He missed a whole season. He transferred over from Colorado, and then last year was injury plagued, and unfortunately, he's right back at it.
Yep. DJ and PK.
Hashtag college football.
Oregon should be number one. Let me just go ahead and get that off my chest. I think Ohio State is looking at a troublesome second game of the year, but that's not how you make this. You should pick what you think are the best teams. I also think Notre Dame ought to be higher. I love what Marcus Freeman has right now, and I just think they're getting a little bit of disrespect at the number 4 position. They could be easily number one. I know that's the second number 1 team, but I think Oregon and Notre Dame are the best 2 teams. I also think they got the SEC teams out of order. Texas, to me, is better than Georgia. There are a lot of other SEC teams in there, which, again, is indicative of where the league is respected. It may not be number 1, but it's still highly respected.
Paul Feinbaum had to get that in there. They've got 5 of the top 10 teams and 9 of the top 25.
The worst it could be is number 4.
Yeah. He also had Oklahoma. He thought Oklahoma was too high at number 10. So the AP college football poll is out. People talking about that. It looked a lot like the coaches poll. But it's something new. BYU 15th and 1, right behind USC. Tied with USC for 14 in the other. The Utes 21. A lot of similarities.
Do you know which college football teams had the most arrests since 2000? 26 years.
Trivia time. College football team with the most arrests. Since what year?
2000.
I'll go with Florida over Georgia. Florida 1, Georgia 2. Who is it?
Florida is 1.
Nice. Got that right.
Georgia's 10.
Oh, okay.
I saw a thing yesterday. most arrests. That's what we got here. Miami is second. According to this thing I saw on social media, Florida has 539 arrests since 2000. And Miami has, at second place, 454. And then the only team not in the Southeast is Ohio State.
And the other 9 are SEC or ACC teams from the southeast part of the country.
Ohio State's had 389.
Are they all power 4 teams?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just make sure.
You don't,
Rattle off the list.
you don't recruit that type of athlete in the other schools.
App State's clean.
I don't even know where App State is.
It's in
the
the
Appalachian Mountains somewhere.
See?
I don't even know where the Appalachian Mountains are. I know it's Smoky Mountains.
They're in Tennessee.
Just when I thought he'd fall in love with Tennessee.
Yeah.
That song is now like 1 week away from the all-time record.
So give us the top 10 if you got the list.
I already gave you number 1, didn't I?
You did. It's Florida 1, Miami 2, Georgia 10. Who's in between?
Florida State,
Okay.
Alabama, I gave you Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, Tennessee. Just when I thought he'd fall in love with Tennessee. Auburn 9, which is pretty weak. They could do better than that. And Georgia is 10.
There it is. Heisman, new rules. Fans get some of the vote now. They're going to have a fan voting platform. So how about that?
Oh, man, if they have an Asian player there, he's going to win.
Oh, shades of Yao Ming dominating the All-Star voting. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Major League Baseball.
Crow Armstrong, it's a high fly ball, deep right. Going back, Montgomery, he looks up. Cubs walk it off. Pete Crow Armstrong ends the game the way he started it, with a home run to right. And the Cubs beat the White Sox 7-5 in 10. Crow Armstrong joins the 30-30 club.
Ground ball by the third baseman. Stevenson, here he comes. They're going to wave him. Here's the throw, not nearly in time, and the Reds will walk off the Cardinals. A base hit by Ellie De La Cruz, and the Reds will win it here in 10. 6-5 is the score.
First walk-off hit for Ellie De La Cruz in his career. I was surprised to read that. Would have assumed by now he's been a good enough player for long enough he'd have had one. But he got one yesterday.
Does that indicate your talent? Or you're playing at home and there's a runner on base and the score's tied?
Well, that's a factor.
I think it's a
you could
critical.
be down one. You could be down one and knock in two.
You could be down
Down two and hit a 3-run homer. And he's done none of those things
understand
until
the rules.
yesterday.
You know, he's the captain, and you guys make a great pair. Alex is the captain, and you're obvious. So I work with Captain Obvious.
Cardinals and Reds split a doubleheader. Cardinals won the first one 2-1.
Well, see, if you're down by one, I had no idea.
Well, you only threw out one scenario, and there was more.
And you thought people didn't know that.
Just in case.
Where would we be without you?
Woo!
Which direction is the sunrise again?
It's over there in an easterly sort of fashion. Yeah. Dodgers offense breaks out. Shohei Ohtani goes deep, like Pete Crow Armstrong, goes deep twice. Dodgers beat the Rockies 11-5.
Yeah, well, those are the two MVP candidates. So
They are.
He had to keep up.
He did.
Thankfully, Colorado obliged, as they usually do.
Ohtani saying they're taking the comeback slow, but he's on track to pitch a little more.
Yeah,
here.
you get there fast and you take it slow.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see him on the mound in September. But he's on the comeback trail. You got a favorite there? If you had a vote, Shohei or PCA?
If PCA is close, I go with him because he plays the field.
30-30 has got to be close, right? It's been a big part of them getting back in the playoff race, so that ought to give them some points with voters.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not based some random stat.
Which stat is random?
30 stolen bases. I mean, how do I know that they contributed to anything? Did he score? Was it then able to get a ground out to the right side where he can go to third and a sac fly? I mean, I may have said this a time or two. I do not take all stats at face value.
Nonetheless, Shohei with his 50-50 season, that got him an MVP, and we'll see where Pete Crow,
I think if he had
Armstrong
50 and
ends
2
up.
stolen bases, he would have gotten the MVP. That's my opinion. I may be wrong, though.
Padres ran themselves out of the game. Mets win 2-1. 3 runners thrown out at home plate for the Padres. And Ketel Marte on a restricted list didn't show up for the game.
They're done.
That's it? That's going to break them?
Yeah.
Major distraction?
Because it's the second time he's done that in 2 years. He didn't show up on the Friday after the All-Star game last year. And now he didn't show up to yesterday. And he can't do that. I mean, if you can't come, you just don't show up. You don't not show up. So, yeah.
Red Sox beat the Diamondbacks 11-1.
Right. And so that was the story before the game, and then they lost 11-1.
Right. Run on 4 hits while the Red Sox are knocking out 16 hits. There was no fluke about it. One team was rolling, and the other team clearly distracted. DJ and PK.
Hashtag BYU.
Cougars tied for 14th in the preseason AP Top 25, and the other news with BYU is they're moving up their game against Oregon State to week 0.
Well, that's going to be week
2027. Yes.
So I always thought it was so stupid to say week 0. If games are being played, that's the first week of the season. And the number first is closely aligned with the number 1.
Give themselves a bye later in the year. Oregon State, Weber State, and Notre Dame, whenever that game ends up getting played. That'll be their non-conference schedule. But Oregon State, August 28th. Look forward to that. DJ and PK.
Hashtag Utah.
You're getting into kind of the dog days of fall camp. You know, it's easy to have energy on day one, easy to be excited on day one. It's having that same energy throughout. Really good practice today, competitive. We're becoming better, situational mechanics. It's good that it's competitive right now, that you don't have one side dominating the other. I think the coaches are doing a good job of keeping our guys fresh, but understanding we got to be physical. It's just continued progress. There's not one glaring thing where I'm sitting there saying, like, we're deficient here. It's just maybe a little bit cleaner in the things that we're doing, from protection to taking on slanters. And they've got one of the best teachers I know in Jordan Gross. So I'm excited for that group and what they're going to show that first game.
Morgan Scally on what's happening up on the hill. Fall camp, couple weeks in. Offensive line combinations remain open. O-line, starting 5, unsettled at this point. And the D-line, still trying to sort out the defensive tackle rotation.
I think accepting maybe a root canal, there's very few things that Morgan Scally's not excited about. That's just who he is.
So you got a short list and root canals at the top of it.
Randomly picked.
Sure.
I've never had one, so I don't know, but it doesn't sound good.
Everybody who has one says it's horrific, so yeah.
Knock on wood. Bring your head over here. And, yeah, he's right. Now, they started practice 2 weeks ago yesterday, and the practice is at 4 weeks, the fall camp, which is right in the dead of summer. I'm really looking forward to Christmas this spring. Makes no sense to call it fall camp in August, but now you're just going. It's not like you're going through the motions.
That's what he's fighting against.
What you're trying to do is stay healthy and continue to progress, and then the season starts. So these last 2 weeks might as well be 2 months to these guys, and it's every year, unless you have some intense quarterback battle. And there's always going to be some positions. And even if you're all set on all 22, then the next 22 is going to have competition. It's never not competition to some degree. But obviously, quarterback is a big, big deal. Like the Sun Devils got a quarterback battle, and he's talking about, hey, we're not even at a fall camp yet, so I'm not going to name a starter. I don't blame him. Keep it going. Keep the guys intense and all that stuff, and give the team more opportunity to see that player XYZ is the guy. But they don't have that. Neither program has that. And really, for Utah State doesn't have it either, for that matter. So it is managing the fatigue of it, the mental fatigue, and then making sure you limit injuries as much as possible while still hitting, because it's always tricky. Because you have to hit. You cannot wait until the first game. Even if you play a cream puff, which they all do, you cannot not hit. So everybody wants these next 2 weeks to go by fast. Let's say high school. Coach, when I was coaching high school baseball, he said, I hate the first week. I hate it so bad. Because it's tryouts. It's not quite a week. But you gotta give them, you can't just have one day of tryouts.
Mm-hmm.
All the kids who get cut, their parents will flood the office, right? But you got to get through that. It's the same thing here. You just have to do it. Something we've all been in situations in life, something we have to do, we don't want to do, but we understand it and we do it. And then when it's over, we go, whew, glad that's over. And that's where we are.
DJ and PK.
#golf.
The Live Golf League has canceled the tournament in Michigan later this month, so this weekend's tournament outside of Indianapolis will be the final event of the season. John Rahm's already clinched the individual season title.
And that bugs me because I was going.
You had family to stay with. It was just a natural.
Yeah. In Michigan, it's like a second home to me.
12 events this year, smallest schedule for Live since it was launched. They postponed New Orleans. They have canceled Michigan. Feels like it's coming to an end, although they're talking bravely about reorganizing, and it'll be reimagined and sustainable model owned by the players. So
they tried it.
Pull that off.
It didn't really work. I mean, it's cool that they can wear shorts and you have music. All right, I'm over that.
They went to places that didn't have PGA Tour stops in some cases.
And that was fun for those folks.
Yep.
But I don't think the general public really latched on because there was nothing there. Golf is another sport like baseball where history is right there in your face right now. Because they had a thing just 2 days ago. Scotty Scheffler, youngest to win X amount of tournaments at your age, right? And Tiger is there. And I think it's 20 tournaments or something like I saw that. I have to go look it up. And, well, the Live has nothing like that.
Right.
It's
and
just
the PGA's playing famous courses and Liv's playing and you don't know anything about it. And
there's no history. And golf is a history sport.
That tradition pays off big time.
Bobby Jones, Sam Snead. I don't even know what those guys' records that they hold, but I know they hold some. And I know it's for folks that are really into that, it really, really matters. And all that stuff. And the Live just doesn't have it. It has money, and these guys got obscenely rich, and good for them. But beyond that, to me, I describe Live Golf as the last week of spring training. Okay, we're done with one at bat and then go golf the afternoon. No. You're playing 6-7 innings or so because the season starts next week. So it counts, but it really doesn't count.
And that's Live.
Yeah.
A few recognizable names, a bunch of names that aren't. Of course, you don't recognize, no history and tradition to cash in on.
No, I watched some, but it was usually when I stumbled upon it because if you're an adult male and you have a remote in your hand, you must flick.
And it goes back to what you said about Ketel Marte. You got to show up. And to only play 14 events, we didn't even know when they were playing.
No, every time I watched one, it's just because I happened to stumble upon it. And I can remember one night in, I think it was the spring, and that Anthony Kim, who had some issues, I think that's his name, and was on the American, was an American, and then had, I don't know, substance abuse or whatever, I forget what they were. And then he won a tournament. And it was like his big comeback. And, and it was a Saturday night, and so it was to have been Sunday wherever else it was, right? It was somewhere that...
Yeah.
And I did watch that. It's like 11 o'clock at night, and I got caught up into it. But I had no idea until whatever I was watching was basketball or whatever was over, and I didn't want to go to bed yet. And I started flicking around, and I saw that, and I did watch that. But that's it. That's the only one.
Well, you don't know if they're playing that week, and you don't know what network they're on, and if it's going to end on Saturday night or if it's going to end on Sunday. Gets hard to build the habit. So I think we all expect it goes away here, but we'll see if they have one more year with some other look.
And there are strong reports that Rahm has already defected.
He's coming back to the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
All right, DJ PK, that's what's trending. Segment sponsored by Shamrock Plumbing. No job too big or too small. Get the personal touch with Shamrock Plumbing. All right, question of the day is coming up next. Stay with us.
Nobody brings you better coverage of the teams you're passionate about than these guys.
Try some more.
This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ PK, it is time for the question of the morning. Hot takes or toast. Any concern that all this Kalani Sitake versus Brian Santiago stuff is a distraction that could sidetrack the team? Is it going to impact the field? I think the answer to that is probably not, because I think this is so far above the players. You know, if it were a coach and a coordinator having a beef, or a coordinator and a position coach, I think that'd be more in their realm. But I suppose there is a chance that Kalani, is he distracted this year? I don't think so, but any concern? I guess you could have a little bit of concern over that.
Well, if he's distracted, then the team is distracted.
Then that matters, right? That matters.
Jeff Kurtz thinks it is.
What does Jeff say?
Oh, excuse me, John Kurtz.
What does John say?
Now, he's somebody who is somebody in the Big 12. The Kalani Sitake situation at BYU has reached the point where the distraction itself is becoming a problem. How about that? That's from Johnny Kurtz.
All right. Johnny's worried.
He's got 34,000 followers on Twitter.
Woo.
That means you're somebody.
See?
It do, don't it?
Joshua says he just signed a contract extension. How long is he under contract for? And is there a clause in the contract that he can leave or terminate for another program?
Of course. Then they have a buyout. Every one of them. Where are you every November and December?
Bang.
Who is that?
That was Joshua.
Come on, Joshua.
And Brandon adds, if he can prove breach of contract, well, then he could leave.
He could leave today if he wanted. They leave all the time.
They do. They do. There's no ironclad coaching contracts. There's always a way out.
There's no jobs open right now, so there's nothing to worry about.
Katie, I could see Kalani moving on if he doesn't get the support he was promised.
See, that in and of itself is a cloud over the program.
The thought that they could be right back where they were last December, except this time it's so much more public. That could be kept quiet. It kind of snuck up on everybody, but now this is so public, everybody will be looking for it. Be much harder to keep it as quiet in 26 as it was in 25.
Yeah.
Craig's very positive, though. Nope. It's all business in Provo. Going to be a great season. Craig's not hearing it. They're going to roll. They are, 15-3 in conference the last 2 years? Mm-hmm. I can see why Craig has that level of confidence. Let's see. Is Craig a fan?
Of course. I mean, under my definition of fandom, there's plenty of Ute fans who are BYU fans.
There are, and there are people here commenting who are Utes.
Because I don't think my definition of fandom is not that I root for a team; it's that I follow a team.
Ryan says, full transparency. I'm a hardcore Ute fan. You don't want any outside noise or distraction when you're getting ready for the season. Something's clearly up, and I guess they'll get it fixed. And if they don't, that's a bigger issue than this rift to begin with.
Well, if the problem isn't solved, then the problem becomes bigger.
Right.
And he's not backing down. And that's his right. It is a little surprising the timing in which he chose to air his grievances. I mean, he has every right to do whatever he wants, but I was a little surprised by it. Right? Why now?
Why not a month or two earlier?
Yeah,
get started on it earlier
when it was dead.
Yeah.
I guess he hasn't been doing any interviews at that point, but all he had to do was call up Buzz and say, "Hey, I want to come on," and everybody's going to say absolutely yes.
Yes.
So he could have done it. And he chose their media golf tournament time to do it. Every right to do what he wants to do. That was before training camp. But it certainly has been the story of BYU sports for 2 weeks now.
Yep.
And obviously, I realize some of the women's soccer has started and all, but football hasn't, and so we don't have any games. The good thing for them is that Monday after week 1, then we got something because the Arizona Wildcats are looming, and they're a good ball club, and they can come in here and win that game if you don't play well, and they know it. Everybody knows it.
Right. But if BYU goes out and wins a game and Arizona doesn't do that, then the hype, hey, presumably 2-0, 1-0 in conference, and you start looking around at how good this could get. Either way, the game takes over, win or lose.
Oh, yeah, I don't think it's devastating if they lose, though. We still have 8 conference games to go. You're probably going to be favored in 7 of them. Maybe not the Utah game, so you still have plenty of time to make up for that loss. So if it happens, it's not the end of the world by any stretch. And same thing, if they win, they haven't clinched anything. You have to see how it plays out a little bit. But I think that if they lose, then people are going to go back to this. Well, yeah, they're not focused, man.
Mm-hmm.
This dark cloud that's hanging over the program is now seeping into the team. Yeah, and then at that point, there's going to be all sorts of attention heaped on Brian Santiago, even more so than Kalani, because Kalani has the sympathy vote now. If you were going to do the court of public opinion and ask which way do you side, 90-some% are going to side with Kalani. It's just a fact. They're going to side with him. There's no doubt in my mind.
Not in mine either. I think you're spot on.
Yeah.
I think it's overwhelming that winning the games he's won, doing the interviews he's done, having all the people talk about him the way they talk about him, yes.
And not to defend BYU, because I don't know all the particulars, nor do I want to. But who's to say if his wish list, everything was checked off, that you win? That doesn't guarantee winning.
That's true, but if they agreed to the wish list and it's in the contract, I get his frustration. Which we haven't seen the contract and we weren't in negotiations, but that's what we've been told.
So
that's what's been presented.
You think they've blatantly said, no, we're going to ignore something that we've agreed upon?
That seems to be the case that multiple people around Kalani are making, yes, that it's that bad. And that's why he's that hot, and that's why he's gone public, because it is that bad.
Yeah, but I'm not going to put it on other people, and then this way I can get away with it. Well, they said it, so don't come at me if it's not true.
But we don't get to see the contracts.
Well,
we're not
the
in
other people
negotiations.
did? Those people that you say...
Yes.
That,
I don't know that they've seen the contract. They know what Kalani says about seeing the contract.
We all know what he's saying.
Okay.
How's that change anything? But I can't report that they're not honoring contract just because somebody else reported it.
Well, so that leaves that Kalani's just making this up? I mean, those
are the two choices.
That seems to be the two choices, yes. That's the sticking point.
Yeah. They could be honoring it, but he thinks they're not honoring it enough. We're going to give you X amount of money for this. I can't say that that's it, and I'm not going to say it is it just because somebody else inferred it is. That's not journalism on my behalf. There's no way I can do that. I can't come on here and say, well, yeah.
That leaves that Kalani's making stuff up.
If that's what you think.
What are the two options? I don't get it. I don't see a third option.
BYU, now this is completely hypothetical, that they feel like we have honored it, but he wants it honored more. That's an option. That could be an option. I don't know if it is or it isn't, but you ask me what could be, that could be. There could be a sticking point. If it's not a finite dollar figure, we'll provide more support for ABCD, and they've provided more support, but he's over here saying, well, that's not enough support. That could be it. I don't know. I'm speculating. That's what I'm saying. I'll report on stuff that I know is true, But I won't report just because somebody else says it. And then if they're wrong, well, I'm wrong too if I presented it as if it were a fact. I don't take my responsibility and dump it on somebody else. No, I have to be very careful with what I say. And I say, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but I don't know that they've seen it either. Who's seen the contract outside of his agent and himself, and his father is always there? I don't know. So I can't say specifically what it is, and I don't necessarily know that it boils down to either or.
Tyson isn't sure it's going to blow up, but he says it sure provides an excuse for when they do go 7-5 this year. Tyson wants it to blow up.
Yeah.
Built-in excuse.
See, he's a fan. He doesn't know it, but he's a BYU fan, under my definition.
He doesn't know it, but under your definition, he is.
Yeah.
Because, see, some people make it more clear than others.
Mm-hmm. If you follow the team, you are a fan of that team.
There's 9 photos on his Facebook page, and 4 of them are the Ute logo. 1 is the Jazz logo.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he's following it.
If the second team you know most about is BYU, then you follow them. And there's nothing wrong with that. I don't define fandom by whether I want a team to win or lose. I define fandom as how much attention I give to it.
Tyler says this year's team, he says this probably isn't going to matter because everything's in place. Future teams, oh, yeah, this could have a negative impact.
Yeah, maybe that's the exact line of thinking. Maybe this team is too far along, and
it looks like it's in a pretty good place, and we'll end up in a pretty good place.
Too many starters returning, and blah 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 blah. And then there's also, Majerus used to have this to an extent that I'll show you. You bug me so much that I'll show you. And there could be some circle the wagons type of attitude amongst the team and the coaches. We'll show the administration. And we've anointed Santiago as the bad guy in this situation here. So he has to bear the brunt. And the fire Santiago stuff is out there and all that stuff. So he's become the flashpoint of your anger is directed at him. Well, that could actually galvanize the team. Because I had one time a player was waiting for me at the hotel in Colorado when I was covering the Utes just to blow off steam because he was so sick of this and that. Mm-hmm. And it was just, I'll show you. So Majerus coached in that way, and obviously he got the results. I remember one guy told me, I wish he would just coach us during the week and then not go to the games and let Donnie coach the games. Yeah. But his methods worked. Whether they were good or not, you can argue, but they did work. And they won a lot of ball games at high levels, obviously. So there could be some of that thing. Well, we'll just circle the wagons and away we'll go.
The common enemy, and it gives you something to put a chip on your shoulder and fire you up.
Yeah. So
provide energy when you're down.
That's always out there.
But the long-term impacts could be negative.
Well, eventually the Utah basketball program crashed and burned.
Mm-hmm.
Which was the way it was always going to end. It was never going to end anything but messy. And I know fans like to think otherwise, but it was. It was always going to end sour. And it did.
And Tyler says this could have future teams, this could have a negative impact.
Well, obviously, if he left, that would be a significant impact.
If he left, if there's not enough money to retain players or whatever, yeah.
Well, they went through, and, I had some conversations with guys doing that stuff about, spreading the money around and how they managed it, and they feel like they did a good job because very few players left. And they did, obviously.
Yeah.
But that's just, and that's where Kalani has articulated to where you have to lean into the lovable culture and that you want to be here because, you want to go chase money. I mean, Sam Levitt decided he wanted to chase money. See ya. Bye-bye now. And we'll just move on, and then we'll see how they do without him. And we'll see what LSU does with him. A lot of pressure on him now. I hope for his sake that it was worth it. Not sure that it would be, because you're going to get, you're going to get the money. If you're good enough in the pros, you're going to get the money. And then, where's your legacy? You don't really have one. You bounced around to 3 different schools in 4 years. What are you about? Well, you're about yourself and your bankroll. And you have every right to be that way. And Kalani has guys that didn't want to do that. And that means that he's built something. And I can tell you multiple coaches had opportunities to leave, and they chose to stay. And the number one reason they chose to stay, out of their mouths, this is their mouth to my ears.
Working for Kalani.
Yes. Multiple.
That over and over.
Yeah. So it's not just if you lost him, you would lose a significant chunk of the staff.
All right, DJ and PK, it's break time, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jason, a guest in the 8 o'clock hour, working on it. It's first test for the captain, huh? Day 2, juggling.
Well, I wish him luck, man, because this will be a black mark upon his start.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. We're watching closely. Make it happen. Larry the Laker coming up at 9 o'clock. All sorts of rumors and speculation and
disarray.
Disarray, yes. And people are saying it's not going to impact the Dodgers, but there's plenty of people who believe it will impact the Dodgers. Of course, a lot of people hate the Dodgers and just want it to impact the Dodgers. Try to sort all that out at 9 o'clock. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Utah's best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth. Here we go. From the guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history. You're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. The AP Top 25 came out. Did you look at it and just think it looks so much like the coaches poll, ho-hum, and just move on? Anything stick with you from this? Anything impress you or intrigue you or make you say,
What did it possibly make me say?
It looks so much like the coaches poll. I got to say it was a letdown.
Really?
Ohio State's 1 in both. Oregon's 2 in both. Georgia's 3. It's usually like that, but you still hope there's something. There's some nugget, and I really just didn't. They flip-flopped Texas and Notre Dame at 4 and 5. Couldn't get into that. And we had the Feinbaum quote earlier. Well, they got the wrong SEC team up top. Texas is better than Georgia, and Georgia's in the media poll. Georgia's 3 and Texas is 5.
Yeah, but all that stuff is on paper right now.
I know.
And so even if you're better, doesn't mean you'll win. We see that all the time. There's plenty of games that will happen this year in college football in which the better team does not win for whatever the
better team on
circumstances.
paper, right, takes the L.
Yeah. And that's what's great about the sport. I suppose it would be, and this is crazy, the continued disrespect of Indiana.
Indiana's 6 in the media poll and in the coaches poll. Now, they did get first-place votes. They got 8 of them. I guess if there's one thing
Which means there's even more disrespect in my mind because they did get 8 votes.
What are the rest of you doing? How did you get 8 first-place votes and still end up in 6th?
Right.
Somebody must have been putting you at 10 or 12 or
That's
bunch
what I'm
of
saying.
You. Yeah.
Right. So in my mind, and that's why I said that, is because they did get those. They got more first-place votes than Notre Dame, but yet Notre Dame is higher, which means that a lot of folks would have had to disrespect Indiana and put them down, as you said, in the double-digit category, and that surprises me.
I think the thing that stuck with me most was there wasn't a single vote in the AP Top 25, a single first-place vote for anybody in the SEC. Ohio State got 40, Oregon got 14, Indiana got 8, the Big Ten got most of them. There were 6 votes for Notre Dame, and 1 person put Miami number 1. Nothing for the SEC.
Well, who would you vote over them?
I would assume somebody would have said Georgia or Texas would win the national title. In the coaches poll, they did. Those 2 teams both got first-place votes in the coaches poll. It's not that I thought they'd end up at number 1, but I thought that out of 60-whatever voters, looks like it's 69 people voted, that somebody would have picked him, and not a single person picked an SEC team. So I guess like you said, it doesn't matter. It's on paper, and we don't know who's going to improve and who's going to be healthy when we get to December and January. So that may just be on paper. But nonetheless, after a couple decades of the SEC dominating, now the Big Ten's had the last 3 champions. And
okay, but that's,
nobody wanted to predict that streak would be broken.
That's old news.
Yeah.
Again, there's no point. You continue to go back. You can only go back 3 years. So anytime you go back a fourth or more, you tune everybody out. Nobody buys it.
So did you expect an SEC team to get a first-place vote? One SEC team
I hadn't
to
even
get one
thought
vote.
about it, honestly, to tell you the truth. I can't say I thought one way or the other. But I do know that describing what happened before NIL is useless and a waste of time. You have to go back only 3 years.
And the world changed.
Yes.
At least the college football recruiting world. Transfer portal and big mounds of cash.
Right. And so that's when this current iteration begins. So you wipe out 60, 70 years of history because it's still in its toddler stage. And the toddler stage has showed us that the money is in the Big Ten. Okay, I accept it.
The Big 12 got handled almost exactly the same in this poll as the coaches' poll. Tech was 12 in the coaches' poll. Tech's 12 in the media poll. BYU was 15 in the coaches' poll. They're tied for 14th with USC in the media poll. Utah's 21 in both. Houston was 24 in the coaches' poll. They're 23 in the AP Top 25. So pretty close to a carbon copy right there.
Okay.
Nothing to see here.
Yeah.
And the G5 completely shut out of the media poll. I did notice that. Boise State got the most, but there are others receiving votes behind Clemson, Florida, and then Boise State.
Well, Boise State is the default move.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to put them in there. And so I understand that. That's Boise State is you're good until you show you're not. You're going to get the benefit of the doubt as far as being good. And we'll see what happens in the new Pac-12 if that comes to pass and they are the dominant team again. But I get why you would go there. And it's the same thing why we put Michigan in. Got to put Michigan in.
16 in both polls.
Yeah. I mean,
can't have a poll without Michigan.
Right.
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And for that matter, Penn State with a coaching change and a bunch of new players, 17 in one poll, 18 in the other. Benefit of the doubt.
Yeah. And you're so low that it doesn't really matter. No one's focusing on Penn State. It's just that it used to be top 20. Now we extended it to top 25. And so if you're anything 15 and below, you're sort of just picking stuff out of a hat. You know, when you get to that point, you really have no idea where the separation is. You're just relying on some immediate history and who's got money. Michigan's got money. SMU's got money, right? So they're going to get the benefit of the doubt. And I think Utah being a ranked team for so long at that point,
getting the benefit of the doubt. Yeah.
And their quarterback's returning. You know, what? And it's not just a returning quarterback, but someone who's good. So you see why they would be included. It's a safe bet to put the Utes in there. No one's going to say, wow, as we look at all the folks, they voted this way, that way. No one's going to say, man, why'd you have Utah in there? No. Utah is the most, I've been saying this for a while, disrespected, under-respected, respected team.
Nobody believes in them,
right?
Says the 432nd consecutive person.
Right.
I believe in them, but nobody else does.
They get so much credit for what they've been able to do. That's what's going to be different, not that he cares, but for Kyle at Michigan, is they're not the gritty, hard-nosed, tough, smash-mouth school out in the middle of nowhere anymore.
You're the big dog.
Yeah.
If you're not the big dog, you're supposed to be the big dog.
And he's in so many interviews, they got everything you need. The resources, the academics, the tradition. There's literally nothing that you need that you don't have. You got it all. And that's not his style. His style has been the exact opposite.
The only thing I've heard him say, and this is, Kyle show no weakness, so it was a little bit. He says, well, it's typically the second year it really all comes together. So time, a little bit, not a lot, year 2, but nonetheless.
Well, I don't know that that is typically. I mean, again, I don't go back. I'm not going to live from 21 on.
Well, the last 2 years, Indiana, it came together for them in the second year. Good.
Came to them. I think Michigan would take Indiana's first year. I think it came together immediately.
11-2 year 1. That's 16-0 year 2.
That's coming together in year 1. Yeah. There's no doubt about it. In my mind, they came together immediately because they went and got a better quarterback. Did that have anything to do with year 2, or they just went and bought a better quarterback? I think year 2 was irrelevant.
There might be a little more belief. Did they really think year 1 that they could win it all? They thought they were pretty good, and you wouldn't get where you are. But then year 2, they knew it.
You think Fernando knew it? I mean, he wasn't there in year 1.
No, he was not.
And he was the number one reason why they won as far as on the field. So if you can get a Fernando Mendoza and he can play like he did last year, you can win in year 1 or year 25, whichever year you happen to get him. It's all about results. And Michigan is not going to have any patience for that. If they go 11-2, that's another story. I do think most fans are realistic in that, okay, you're not going to win it every year. It just doesn't work that way. But you can still have a really good season. And if you go 11-2, you had a really good season. And so if the Wolverines go 11-2, and plus it's a new coach too, and that's a great starting point. And I would assume at that point that Underwood played well, and he's not eligible for the draft. He's coming back for his third year. Now, that's an assumption that you cannot make these days. They can't. We can. So, yeah, I would think that if Michigan rolled out on 11-2 this year, he might. You never know who overachieved the most ends up being coach of the year. And who knows who's going to overachieve the most. Is it finally going to be USC? Is Lincoln Riley going to do something to justify the bloated coaching contract coming in on a white horse? And we pulled one over on Oklahoma. So far, you've pulled nothing over on Oklahoma. It's been nothing but mediocre from USC standards.
It has not measured up.
Right.
It did at the start, I guess. That's probably the best part, right? That 11-1. But then, everything fell apart.
What happened?
They got beat in the conference title game. They got beat in the bowl game. And then they had basically a 500 season the next year. And it hasn't really, 11-1, they had some hype. But
that's...
They want to finish the deal
at
USC.
Game in the seventh inning.
Yeah.
And you got to go 9.
They want to seal the deal at USC.
Right. And we'll see if they can do it. I have my doubts. I mean, you keep getting these great recruiting classes, blah, 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 blah. Well, okay, great. That's what I was saying about BYU. They can give Kalani everything he wants, but that doesn't mean it's going to translate into actually playing Texas Tech competitive. Sounds good, but I don't know that it does anything.
Might work, but you can't guarantee it.
Exactly, yes.
That's why they play the games. All right, DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Your fandom front and center. Next.